Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nabiil Haliim, and today I will share about some phrases for a welcoming speech or to the your audience in advanced level. So let's start begin. Okay, first is the welcoming your audience. It's lovely to see so many familiar faces here today. Or I'm very grateful to you all for taking the time to be here today. Okay, so we move to the introducing yourself. For those of you who don't know me, or in another phrases, let me start by telling you a little bit about my own background. And now I'm going to share about how to stating the goal of your presentation. What I intend or plan or hope to do is, or the reason I'm here today is to talk about, or in informal form, we say, I'm here to say a few words about. Now I'm going to share about explaining why the topic is relevant. This talk should be of particular interest to those of you who, or in another phrases, by the end of this afternoon's talk, you'll know how to, or you'll be familiar with, or in another phrases again, what I hope you'll get from my talk or presentation is a clearer view or better idea of. And now I will share about how to guide the audience with these phrases. So let's start from the introducing the first topic. I'd like to begin by drawing your attention to. Let's begin by looking at finishing a topic. Finishing topic. That's all I want to say about this topic for the time being. Or in another phrases is, so that's the background on. And continuing with another topic. The next point I'd like to talk about is, this leads me directly to my next point, which is, and then the highlighting information is, as far as I'm concerned, the main issue here is, or in other phrases, the significance of this is, or I cannot emphasize this strongly enough. Paraphrasing. In other words, put simply, to put it another way, common knowledge, as you are aware, or as I'm sure you all know, then referring to points you mentioned earlier. If you remember, I touched upon this point earlier, or as I mentioned or pointed out earlier, decreasing. While we on the subject of blah blah blah, I'd like to briefly mention blah blah blah. If I can just decrease for a moment, and then we go to the getting back to the topic. Coming back to the main point, or getting back to my main point. Summarizing. Finally, let me remind you of the main points we covered or looked at or considered today. Or let me briefly summarize the main points. Concluding, I like to finish with something. Name of well-known person once said, relevant and meaningful quote. Or let me just finish with a question, thought-provoking question. And then thanking the audience and inviting them to ask questions. In informal way, I mean, thank you very much for being such an attentive audience. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them now. Or in informal way, any questions?